What's going on, guys? I got a pretty cool video for today. We're going to find out whether or not we're smarter than Ron Francis. And what I mean by that, guys, is today I'm going to be doing two simulations. One is the regular Seattle Kraken team that Ron Francis drafted. The other is going to be the Seattle Kraken team I would have drafted. And we're going to see which one of them does better. If you guys remember in the summer when the expansion draft happened, a lot of people were kind of confused by some of the Seattle picks. Now, I think they leaned heavily into analytics. I saw a lot of different analytic people on Twitter predicting Seattle to actually make the playoffs. But if you guys have followed the NHL at all this season, you'll know that Seattle has not looked anything like a playoff team. They're actually currently second last in the entire NHL, above only the Arizona Coyotes, who just got their first win last week. You can see there in 16 games played, they have 9 points, 4-11-1 record. The fact that they're only better than Arizona, who barely qualifies as an NHL team, is not a good look for Seattle. Again, a lot of people actually predicted them to make the playoffs, myself included. I saw all the analytics models that had them playing really solid defense, good goalie in Grubauer. Offensively, they were going to struggle a bit, but had some decent players like Schwartz, Gord, Wengberg, Eberle. Just so far, they haven't really been able to put it together. I do wonder if it's just a chemistry thing, right? Maybe Vegas was literally not only such a surprise because of how well they played, but also how well that team molded together. Maybe Seattle, those guys are still trying to find their chemistry. And in regards to their top players here, guys, I already mentioned two of them, Grubauer, Giordano, Schwartz. Giordano as well, the captain of that team, hasn't looked like himself. I think he's definitely showing his age a bit. Now, in game, they're 87 overall, so they actually are tied for being the highest rated team in the Pacific with Vegas, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary. I'm not sure how Vegas is now at 87. Last time I did simulation, they're 86. I haven't touched anything, so that's just so strange to me. For this, we're going to have everything turned off basically, but salary cap and computer trade. Don't care about the owner stuff, just want to see how will they sim. Real quick, guys, I want to thank Bounty Sports for sponsoring today's video. They're a daily fantasy sports platform that's switching things up with a simple and easy to use pick'em style opposed to the regular fantasy lineup. I find their method a lot easier to win, and honestly, I've been enjoying it so far. Signing up is really easy, takes about 10 seconds, and if you use my code TACTICS, you'll actually get $5 for free, no deposit necessary, so without spending a dime, you can potentially win some big prizes. Now, once you guys have your $5, you want to choose a contest to enter. You can see here they have a variety of sports, but obviously I'll be going with NHL. You also have a bunch of different entry fees ranging from $3 to $30, and prizes there from $45 to $810. I think there was an NFL one on the front page I saw, almost 2,000. So there can be some really big prizes. I'm just going to keep it simple here with the $5 NHL Pick'em. So it's really easy, guys. They're going to have some games from that night. You can see here 8 games total. You're going to choose who you think is going to win each game. The favorite only gives you 1 point. The underdog gives you more than 1. You try and get the most total points. Starting off here, guys, game 1. Florida's undefeated, so the fact that they're the underdog, I think, makes me have to pick them. I really like the Jets over the Sharks, especially as the underdog. I think the Jets are a much better team. Devils, Penguins. That's probably 50-50. Penguins are at home, but again, I think the Devils there. Red Wings, Leafs. This is a tough one. I feel like the Leafs probably win. You can see that they are, quite favored. The Red Wings give you 2.2 points. My favorite team. I feel like it's worth the risk to try and, double up. Chicago, St. Louis. I like St. Louis at home for that one. Colorado, Minnesota. I also like Colorado beating the Minnesota Wild at home. I like Edmonton there over the Canucks. I actually like the Flyers over the Flames, especially at 1.38. And if I go to the bottom here, you'll see my maximum points are 10.2. So hopefully I do, get that 10.2, because if I do, I'm definitely going to be in the money. I'll actually show you guys. So the NHL Pick'em here, prize pool, $225. First place gets you $50. Prizes placed all the way to 10th. Again, there's only 50 people being entered, so 20% chance to be in the money. So if you guys are interested at all, click the link in the description box below and use my code TACTICS for a free $5 when you sign up. Again, no deposit necessary. Highly recommend giving Bounty Sports a try. Now, guys, let's get back to the video. And before I start the sim, guys, the real-life Seattle Kraken drafted by Ron Francis. I first want to show you guys the lines. I did my best here to try and maximize chemistry. So Schwartz, Gord, Eberle first line, Yarncroc, Wengberg, McCann the second with a +1. Same goes for Donato, Appleton, Donskoy, Johansson, Geeky, Tanev on the fourth line. Defensively there, Giordano, Larson, Susie Dunn get a +2, Alexiak, Fleury. In goal, of course, Grubauer starting, Drieger backing them up. Now for special teams here, both power plays get 0, but decent players. 4-man's 0 to -1, PKs both 0, same with the 3-man, so not too many negatives, which is good. I'm just thinking too, so one kind of edge I guess the Ron Francis team has is they actually were able to sign free agents. They got James Schwartz, they got Philip Grubauer. With my team, it'll just be drafted players, no free agents, and I still feel like it'll probably do better. And next year, I'll show you guys the ratings for this team before we start the simulation. Offense, defense, and goaltending. So as you can see here, the team has 88 offense, 89 defense, 88 goaltending. As I mentioned earlier, I feel like the team's got decent defense and goaltending. It's really just the offensive firepower they're lacking. Now let's see how they finish in this one-year sim. I feel like they can't do much worse than they are in real life. Check out this trade offer, guys. Minnesota offering us Jonas Brodin, Marcus Foligno for Chris Drieger, a couple picks. I would say yes if I wasn't like trying to do the simulation. Torrey Krug for 2 seconds. Teams are just giving us good defensemen. Again, I want to stick with the original team, but that's definitely surprising. No surprises here, guys. Arizona Coyotes fire their head coach. I think they're doing, just as poorly in game as they are in real life. And we're at the trade deadline now, guys. The record of 35, 22, and 5. So Seattle Kraken team, like I was mentioning before, doing much better than real life. James Schwartz has almost a point per game. Second in the division, only to the Oilers. Oilers, Kraken, Golden Knights were actually my, 3 predictions to make it from the Pacific. I think I had Golden Knights 1, Oilers 2, Kraken 3, though. 75 points. Ties in with the Avalanche. That's pretty crazy. They'd be second in the Metro. I'll see if they can keep it up here towards the end of the season. And a huge trade just went down. John Klingberg to the Jets for 2 first-round picks and Hanola going to Dallas. Jets are all in. Wow, another one. Johnny Gaudreau to the Rangers for 2 seconds. Matthew Robertson. I feel like Rangers just fleeced Calgary. And so Sunday in the season here, guys, they finished a record of 48, 29, and 5. Again, very good season for Seattle. I don't see them being this good in real life. Clearly, based on the start they've had. Kraken there at 101 points. Again, second to the Oilers, just like at the trade deadline break. Yanni Gord had almost a point per game. I've got my 1 fantasy team, so I would love to see that. We'll just quickly take a look and see kind of who their top scorers are, and then when I draft my team, compare kind of how our top players did. So Gord 78 is their best guy, almost a point per game. Schwartz is 74, Eberle 66, Yarncroc 64. So 4 guys 60-plus points. What is that? 8 guys at 50-plus points. We'll try and remember that. Goaltending wise, Grubauer, solid season there, .905, 3.13 though. Goals against average there could definitely be better. And then we have Kucherov there leading the entire league in points. Goals also goes to Kucherov, so I'll probably just, clean up everything defensively. John Carlson there with points, and then rookie skaters there. Shriver Zegras, 53. Lucas Raymond, I feel like, definitely the front runner to win the Calder this year, if not him. Moritz Seider. I already know, of course, we finished second in the division. Maple Leafs there from the President's Trophy with 119, and we finished 7th in the entire NHL. So, again, very impressive season for Seattle. That's going to be tough to beat the team that, we draft. I feel like all were all-stars, but I don't know. EA, I think, just likes the team Seattle drafted. So, this is pretty perfect. We played Vegas Golden Knights opening game, expansion team versus expansion team. We now have them in the first round of the playoffs. So, we'll sim through this one. We get a clean sweep. Okay, this team's insane. We now have the Winnipeg Jets here in the second round. 1-1 through 2. I feel like that's a pretty good start there, especially we know Winnipeg added John Klingberg. Winnipeg does take us out in 6 games. We're actually tied 2-2, heading to game 5 before we lost the next 2 straight. So this Seattle team with Ron Francis drafting it makes it to the second round of the playoffs in the sim. Again, the sim's definitely favoring them a bit more than I think it should. And I just got an achievement, guys. Have a coach win the Jack Adams Trophy in franchise. I've never won that. Clearly, Stanley Cup there, Boston Bruins in this sim, and Arizona there picks first overall, so they'll be getting Shane Wright. Calgary, probably Brad Lambert. Arizona with Montreal's pick. Could be getting Matthew Savoy. I'm not sure if Montreal's pick is top 5 protected, 10 protected, or just lottery protected. Eberle there, 10 points, 10 games. Boston wins the cup. We'll just do a quick look at the awards, see what other ones we've won along with the Jack Adams Trophy. So Kucherov there, Art Ross, Matthews Hart, Riley James Norris, Kucherov, Lady Bing, Zegras Calder, Allmark, Conn Smythe, Mrazek Vezina, interesting. Jack Campbell's the starter there for sure. Bill Masterton Zadorov, our coach Jack Adams. Like I said, never won the Jack Adams, so pretty cool. O'Reilly, Selke, Matthews, Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard goes to Kucherov. So basically with our drafted expansion team, we had to have a player with more than 78 points to beat Yanni Gord top scoring, finish higher than 7th in the NHL, get more than 1 award, we only won the Jack Adams, and go deeper in the playoffs in the second round. Honestly, that's going to be tough to do, but we'll draft the team next and show what they're looking like. And I just finished the expansion draft for my Seattle Kraken team. I based it off the mock draft I did back in the summer, where basically I wasn't trying to build a team that was, really good out the gate, was going to compete for the Stanley Cup the first year, or a team that was looking to rebuild. Kind of what it seems like Seattle's doing in real life. Basically, my strategy going in was just to get the most value from every single pick, and I feel like this team does that for the most part. You can see we also look Caden Fleury there from the Ducks. Christian Fischer here gives you so much more value than Tyler Pitlick. Kasha there, when healthy, is a really good player. Colin Miller's decent. Oliver Shillington, I got a lot of flack for this one, taking him over Giordano. Giordano's obviously much better, but he's older. And the Shillington pick's making me look pretty smart right now. I think he's averaging a point per game, playing very, very well here to start the season for the Calgary Flames, and obviously so much younger than Giordano. He's 24, I think. Jake Bean there, obviously got traded to Columbus, but solid young defenseman. Calvin DeHaan, solid. I think Comfort is better than Donskoy. Domi, kind of like Kasha, when healthy is good, worth the risk. Mashram there, just kind of a decent younger AHL guy. I think Stetcher is a better defenseman than Cholowski, especially since Seattle already lost Cholowski for nothing. Tyler Benson there, I went with Orville Larson because Obviously, we didn't know Larson's going to sign with Seattle. Chris Drieger there, just like real life. Brendan Lemieux, just kind of like a more energy enforcer kind of guy. Didn't really have that. I thought Kraken had shades of excellence last season, so I figured we'd take a chance on him, one of the only younger goalies in the expansion draft. Jonathan Duran, another guy, riskier, but if he returns to form, very, very good pick. So far, it's hard to say this season. Montreal hasn't looked good. Cal Yarncroc there. With how well Duchesne's played, you could honestly probably justify the $8 million salary cap, but it wasn't worth the risk at the time. Will Butcher there, who actually Devils had to pay to get rid of, but I feel like, you know, getting more ice time, whatever, with Buffalo, it's tough. On our team, might do better. Eberle there, just like Seattle. Gauthier, just kind of another AHL guy. I actually took Abramov here at the Ottawa pick. I didn't realize he was going to the KHL, so just decided to switch it up and take the cord like they did. JVR there, big contract, but the dude can score. I feel like he gives us, you know, something we don't really have in that power forward. Casey DeSmith there, probably like a backup for us. Ryan Donato, just another kind of good guy. Tarasenko is one. I mean, it was either Tarasenko or Dunn they had to go with. Tarasenko might have been the pick. He's averaging almost a point per game right now. He's looking like vintage Tarasenko. I feel like if you were to trade both those guys right now, the package you get for Tarasenko is a lot higher. Also, too, we had a lot of defensemen kind of similar skill to Dunn, where we had no wingers that were as good as Tarasenko available. So I feel like that was a must pick. Cal Foote here. This is one I'm probably regretting. In real life, of course, Ron Francis won the Yanni Gord is under contract. Doesn't have to worry about that. For me, though, it was either between Cal Foote and Andre Palat, and I think Palat was probably the pick. As he played so well last season, and he's continuing that this year, I feel like if you were to trade Palat right now, you'd probably get a first, maybe a prospect with the first, whereas Cal Foote, probably like a second-round pick. So again, I'm trying to get the most value. I feel like sometimes I messed up. That's going to happen. Jared McCann, just like real life. Same with Cole Lynn. I went with Justin Schultz there rather than Vanacek. Kind of like a more offensive defenseman. Mason Appleton, also just like real life, just kind of seemed like the best player available on the Winnipeg Jets. So we'll see how this team does for us. I'm pretty happy to, you know, give it a try. And like I said, it's going to be tough to beat 7th in the NHL, second-round playoff exit, but maybe this team can do it. So next year, guys, I'll show you the lines from my Seattle Kraken team. First, I want to show you guys that didn't make the team. So you got Benson, Lemieux, Gauthier, Lynn, Masterin, and Hedman, who we didn't draft actually for the forwards. Defensively here, it's Bean, Foote, and Shillington. Shillington I'd like to have, but he's 79 overall. Hopefully, I'm almost positive he'll be getting a boost in the next roster update. DeSmith, the core there are 2 AHL goalies. So in terms of the NHL team, I like our team in terms of the forwards better. I think our defense is worse, and goaltending obviously a little bit worse as well. We'll see how the sim goes. I think, honestly, in terms of the EA sim, Ron Francis might be smarter than us. We'll have to wait and see. So, JVR, Domi, Tarasenko on the first line, get a +1. I think it'll be a solid first line. Even Eberle, Comfort, Yarncroc there. Pretty good second line. There was a way I could get +2, but then I got a -2 on the third. Didn't really seem worth it. Third line's actually pretty nice too. Duran, McCann, Kasha. Fourth line there, Fisher, Appleton, Donato. Defensively here, we got Butcher, Schultz, top pair, getting a +3, which is nice. Stetcher, Dahan, second pair. Fleury, Miller on the bottom pair, getting a +2. Goaltending-wise, Drieger, Kakinen. Again, no Grubauer, but I didn't sign any free agents. I figured that'd kind of make it more fair somehow, I think. The first power play there actually looks pretty nice, gets a +1. The second's not that bad. The 4-man there is 0. First PK gets a +1. The 3-man 0. So the chemistry, I think, for this team is a little bit better than the Ron Francis team. If you guys are wondering about the captaincy, we didn't have Giordano. We didn't really have a true veteran. So looking at all the names on this team, I didn't really feel like we had that true C. Just had to go with 3 A's here. JVR, Eberle, Tarasenko. We'll see if, you know, somebody steps up during the season with their play, proves that they deserve to wear that C. So take a look here at the overalls. Offense, defense, goaltending before we get started with the sim. We've got 90 offense, 87 defense, 85 goaltending. As I already mentioned, this team's offense is a little bit better than the real Kraken team, with their defense and goaltending a little bit worse. Let's find out if they do better or worse in the sim. On the trade deadline here, guys, a pretty good record, 34, 25, and 3. I believe we're actually second in the division there, 1 point back of the Ducks. We do have a game in hand. I'm really annoyed, though, because I think back in November, November it was, we lost 6 straight games. If we just win one of those, or even if we just go to OT in one of those, we're tied with the Ducks right now. I don't know how we lost 6 straight games in regulation. Like, that's unbelievable. Tarasenko, a really good season so far. He's got 68 and 62. He'll probably beat Yanni Gord, I think, with the 78 points, because he only needs 10 more there in 20 games. Hopefully I didn't just jinx him. But, yeah, so far this team looks pretty solid. If they do end up making the playoffs, at that point, it's probably just luck to see whether or not our team's better than the Ron Francis drafted team. But I think it's going to be fun either way. This is insane, guys. Our team is absolutely choking. I thought the 6 straight losses was bad. We're currently sitting at 8 straight losses. I don't know how that's even a thing. We do have 1 shootout loss there against the Jets, but 8 straight losses. Still have a chance here to make the playoffs, but oh my gosh. OT loss, a win luckily, so pick up a few points. Is this team going to squeak in? A win against the Kraken, the Sharks, and then 2 squeak in with 92. Wow, that was too close to call. 8 straight losses. Like, this team is so streaky, I guess. I feel like, you know, if they win even half of those, 8 extra points, 100 points on the season, would have been pretty similar to the Ron Francis team. Right now, though, we're seeing with a worse regular season record. Maybe, though, this team will come alive in the playoffs. Tarasenko there went off, 97 points, 82 games, almost had a 100-point season. I don't know what's going on. That 8 straight losses is having me worried over the playoffs. JVR there, 85, also over a point per game. Same with Justin Schultz. Wow. That +3 chem, I think, helped him out a lot. He killed it. 8 goals, 77 assists for 85 points. So this team individually definitely played a lot better because Gord, of course, leading scorer on the other team with 78. Tarasenko, 97, crushed that. We had no one in the 80s. We got 4+ players here in the 80s. Everly, 81 is also pretty surprising. It's kind of cool to see, though, how the guys with the bigger contracts were actually worth the money in regards to Tarasenko, JVR, even Schultz on defense. Yarncroc 62, it's pretty similar to what he did on the real team. Domi there also 62, Duran, Comfort, McCann. Overall, definitely happy with like the individual success there of the players. Goaltending wise, let's see, Drieger, .894 and a 3.42. He's got to be better than that. Kakanen's win-loss record's worse, but his individual stats are better. Probably going to rock Drieger in the playoffs, just hope for the best. We'll take a look here at the entire league. Tarasenko have a chance, Matthews 108. Tarasenko, though, was 5th in the league in scoring, so pretty cool to see. And Ovechkin there won the Maurice Richard. We'll see defensively. I think Schultz has a chance here to lead defense in points. And he does, 85. Next is Adam Fox. Justin Schultz might win the Norris here for the Seattle Kraken. How crazy would that be? And Tulipov, he's some guy from like the made-up 2021 draft. There's no way to avoid it. He wins the Calder Trophy there over top of Trevor Zegras. So we'll get to the playoffs here, guys. Also, I should show you where he finished the entire league. Of course, the real team was 7th. And where are we going to be? Rangers President's Trophy. Maple Leafs only 1 back. And we finished 13th. So again, not bad considering the fact we lost 8 straight there in the final month. Again, if we have 100 points, we're actually 6th. Though, go 500 in those 8 games. And it's pretty much equal regular season record, which is actually kind of surprising because I feel like these teams are quite different. Only a handful of guys are really the same. So, first round of the Ducks. I'd say that's probably an easier matchup than Vegas, but like, watch, I just probably jinxed it. OT loss, 10-5 win. Okay, the boys are playing angry. Never mind. They go win the next 3 straight here to get by the Ducks. And they do not. They lose there in 6th, Anaheim Ducks. So, to answer the question, am I smarter than Ron Francis, a real-life NHL GM? According to the EA simulation, I am not, but that's okay. I had some fun here. And look at this, guys. The playoffs are complete. We lost the eventual Stanley Cup winners in the Anaheim Ducks. That's a couple times now they've won the simulation. Florida there jumps up from 8-1. Surprised they missed the playoffs. I want to take a look at the awards because I'm very curious to see if Justin Schultz did win the Norris. Everly there, 6.6 games. So a lot of people say Everly's not a playoff performer. I proved them wrong in this sim at least. Stanley Cup there, the Ducks. Let's see, individual awards here. Matthews, Art Ross. I think he got it in both, right? McKinnon Hart Trophy. Fox, James Norris. Schultz got snubbed. I'm sure Fox had like better plus minus and stuff like that, but I feel like Schultz got robbed there. McKinnon, Lady Bing, Tulipov, Calder, Palmieri, Conn Smythe. That's kind of funny. Stolar's Vezina over John Gibson. I'm pretty sure they gave it to the backup again, which you don't want to see. Yeah, Gibson though gets William Jennings. Edmondson, Bill Masterton. Sharks coach Jack Adams. Bergeron, Selke. McKinnon, Ted Lindsay. And then over there, Maurice Richard. So that's going to do it, guys, for this video. If you did your own Seattle Kraken draft, let me know if they did better or worse than the Ron Francis simulation, where, of course, they finished 17th in the NHL, second round playoff exit. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section. Also, guys, if you did enjoy this one, leave that thumbs up if you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you hit the sub button down below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.